Hello children, how are you all? Hope you are fine and good. I am your teacher Dakshayani from Bharadastar Metric Higher Secondary School, Arakonam. Children, today we are going to see 9th standard biology chapter 5. What is the name of the chapter, children? Pollination and fertilization. Children, in the previous session we have discussed about the pollination by insects and pollination by wind. So, what is the pollination by insect called, children? Can anyone say? Yes, very good. Entomophily. Entomophily. Yes, very good. And pollination by wind? Anemophily. Anemophily. Yes, in the previous session we have discussed about the entomophily and anemophily and what are all the characteristics of the entomophilous flower, then example and the characteristic features of the anemophilous flowers. In this session we are going to discuss about the hydrophily and fertilization process. So, hydrophily, what do you mean by hydro, children? Hydro refers to water. Hydro refers to water and phily refers to pollination. So, the pollination which takes place through water, we say it as hydrophily. And hydrophily, there are two examples, children. One is Vallisneria and another one is Hydrilla. So, what are the two examples? Yes, very good. Vallisneria and Hydrilla. All the aquatic plants do not pollinate by using water, children. For example, lotuses, lilies, insect pollination also takes place. So, only only some of the species of the aquatic undergo the hydrophily. And now we are going to see an example about the Vallisneria, how the pollination takes place in Vallisneria. So, it is a Vallisneria plant, children. You can see two plants, right? Yes, the Vallisneria is unisexual. What do you mean by unisexual? Unisexual is otherwise known as dioecious. Dioecious, right? So, what do you mean by dioecious? Here unisexual. Unisexual means the male and the female plant are separate, right? For example, it is a female plant and this is the male plant, and now we are going to see how the pollination takes place here. So, first this female flower, they possess a long stalk. This is a female flower, children. See the stalk, how it is? It is very long and slender, right? And this Vallisneria is submerged and rooted plants. So, what happens? This female flower has a long stalk and the flower is seen on the surface of the water. And the male plant, when the anthers get matured, they are, what happens? The flowers float on the surface of the water. So, when the female flower will be like this, cup shaped, and when the male flower surrounds the female flower, what happens? The anthers burst and they shed their pollen grains on the stigma of the female flower, right? And now the pollination is completed, and now what happens? The female flower coils back and reaches the bottom of the water and start producing the fruits. So, this is how the pollination takes place in Vallisneria. What do you mean by dioecious or unisexual, children? Sexes are separate, female plant and the male plant. So, this is a male flower and this is a female flower. So, we have studied about the pollination in Vallisneria. And now we are going to see some of the examples. The zoophily. What do you mean by zoophily, children? The pollination that takes place through the animals. Yes. So, zoology refers to the study of animals. So, phily means pollination. So, you can see the two flowers, right? What are these two flowers, children? It is canna. It is an ornamental flower Kena. In Tamil we say it as kalvazhai. You can see we say in crotons type, right? It produces the flowers in different colors, and it is a bignonia. What is the name of this flower, children? Bignonia, right? And this two flowers, they are pollinated by birds. So zoophily, there is another category called ornithophily. Ornithology is the study of birds. So the pollination which takes place in Canna and Bignonia is ornithophily. What we say, children? Ornithophily. Ornithophily. Children, now we are going to say about the malacophily. What I mean by malacophily, children? Malacnology is the study of snail. So the pollination which takes place through the snail, we say it as malacophily. The example for this plant is lemna. What is a plant, children? Lemna. So when the snail crawls on this plant, automatically it transfers the pollen grains from one plant to the another. So it is lemna. The another example for malacophily is snake plant. It is an ornamental plant. The common name we call it as snake plant. The snail crawls through it and helps in pollination. So the pollination through snail we call it as malacophily. And now we are going to see about the pollination through birds. It is a flower of kadam tree. Kadam. Of kadam tree. Right? It is a flower of kadam tree, and the pollination through this takes place through bats. Pollination takes place through bats. So we say that the term used for pollination through bats is Chiropterophily. Chiropterophily. Okay, and this is the largest flower, children, Rafflesia. You might have heard about this flower. It is a Rafflesia, and this Rafflesia, Rafflesia, and the elephants, it will be seen on mostly in the Burma and Indonesia forest, and while it is found on the land. While the elephants are walking, automatically the elephant, they damage the flower with the help of their legs. So when they approach the other flower, so pollen grains, when the elephant damages this flower, the pollen grains stick into the foot of the elephant. So automatically when it approaches the another flower, the pollen grains get transmitted. So this Rafflesia is said to pollinate by the elephant. And now we are going to see what is fertilization. Fertilization is a fusion of male gamete and a female gamete. That is a ovule, female gamete. So the male gamete we can denote by the symbol this, and the female gamete by the symbol this. So they both are haploid in nature. Haploid means they have n haploid chromosomes, n chromosomes. So they both join to form the male and the female gamete fuse to form the zygote. And this zygote is diploid in condition. What do you mean diploid, children? N is haploid, right? Two haploid join to form the diploid zygote. The zygote is also called as a oospore. Just underline in your book, what is the other name of zygote? Oospore. So what is fertilization, children? Fertilization is a fusion of male and the female gamete. And now we are going to see what is a pollen grain and structure of the pollen grain, right? So the flower, the pollen grains, flower bears a male part. What is a male part, children? It is a male part, it is a filament and the anther. So this is a male part of the flower. This we studied in the previous lesson. So this anthers bears a pollen grain, right? And this is the structure of the mature pollen grain, children. It consists of two layers. The innermost layer is very thin. The innermost layer is very thin and it is known as a intine. It is known as intine. Intine. And the outermost layer is very thick. Just you see, it is very thick. It is very thick, and this layer, outermost layer, we say it as exine. Exine. And this exine bears a germ pore. Exine bears a germ pore through which the pollen tube forms at the time of germination, right? And it bears a two types of nucleus. One is a vegetative nucleus and another one is a generative nucleus. Generative cell bears a generative nucleus. So, vegetative nucleus supplies nutrition and this generative nucleus splits into two at the time of fertilization. So, what are the two layers of pollen grain, children? Outer exine, which is thick, and inner intine, which is thin. And what are the two types of nucleus? One is a vegetative nucleus, or we shall say it as a tube nucleus also. What we can say? Tube nucleus. And another one is a generative nucleus. And now we are going to see about the structure of ovule, right? Where is the ovule present, children? Inside the ovary. You have studied about the female gamete, right? Stigma, style, and then the ovary, right? And inside the ovary only, what is present? This ovule is present. Now we are going to see the structure of the ovule, and this is a placenta. Here it is attached to the ovary by means of a stalk, right? So, if this is a placenta, the stalk which attaches the ovule to the ovary, we say it as funiculus. What we say, children? Funiculus. And this funicle supplies nutrition from the flower to the ovule. So, it has a good vascular supply, that is xylem and phloem vessels are present. And the small depression here, we call it as a hilum. What we say? Hilum. And the ovule consists of two types of outer structures. One is a outer integument. This is the integument, children. This is the inner integument and this is the outer. Likewise, here also inner integument as well as the outer integument. It helps in protection. It helps in protection. And here inside the integument there is a tissue called nucellus. What is this tissue, children? This tissue we call it as nucellus, right? And in the nucellus we can see the embryo sac. What is this? Embryo sac. And embryo sac, and here there is an opening through which the pollen tube enters, through which the male gamete enter into the female, that is a ovule. This part we say it as a micropyle. Micropyle. And the embryo sac consists of egg cells surrounded by the synergids and the secondary nucleus and the antipodals, right? This we will study later. So, this is the structure of the ovary, children, ovule. So, what are the things we studied? Stalk of the ovule is funiculus. What is the depression called? Hilum. What is the opening called? Micropyle. Outermost covering integuments and nucellus tissue, in which what is present inside? Embryo sac. In embryo sac only the egg and the secondary nucleus is present. And now this pollen grain, right? We studied there are two types of nucleus. One is a vegetative and another one is a tube nucleus. So, what happens when at the time of pollination, right, the pollen grain reaches the surface of the stigma, and by absorbing the water, what happens? It starts to germinate. It starts to germinate like this, right? So, here at the time of germination, this generative nucleus splits into two male gametes. This generative nucleus splits into two male gametes, and the tube nucleus moves towards the pollen tube. So, this is the what happens when the pollen grain approaches the surface of the stigma. After the pollination, this event takes place. And now we are going to see about the fertilization, and I told you that this pollen grains, you see children, many pollen grains are reached on the surface, but only one grows very fast, right? Very fast and reaches the ovule. Reaches the ovule. And now what happens? The pollen grains from the anther are transferred to the stigma and they reach the ovule. And now what are all the events taking place? We can see now. So, here in the process of fertilization, the first male gamete, right? I told you there are two types of male gametes, right? The generative nucleus splits into two male gametes. So, in the ovule already what is present inside the ovule? And this is a integuments, right? And inside what is present? Embryo sac. Embryo sac consists of the egg surrounded by the synergids and secondary nucleus, right? So, now what happens? One male gamete fuses with the egg. One male gamete fuses with the egg to form the zygote. And another male gamete, through the micropyle, it reaches the secondary nucleus. So, another male gamete fuses with the secondary nucleus to form a endosperm. So, just look into this picture children. Pollen grains reaches the stigma. So, here what happens? One male gamete, two sperm nucleus are there. One fuses with the egg to form the zygote which develops into a embryo. And another male gamete fuses with the secondary nucleus to form the endosperm. So, now here we say the fertilization as double fertilization. Why we say it as double? Because one male gamete fuses with the egg, one fertilization, and another male gamete fuses with the secondary nucleus. So, two times the fertilization takes place, hence we say it as double fertilization. And here we can also say it as triple fusion. Why we say it as a triple fusion children? This male gamete already it is N, right? And when it fuses with the secondary nucleus is 2N. So, N plus 2N it forms the endosperm, right, which is triploid in condition. So, N plus N 3. So, 3 gametes fuse, right. So, it is said to be triple fusion. And now let us see about the post fertilization changes. What do you mean by post fertilization children? Yes, after fertilization what happens? What happens after fertilization? Right. So, sepals, for example, in a flower, this corolla, right, everything is held by the green color structure called sepals, right. In this sepals, after the fruit development, it get withered, cotypoid, right. But in some flowers, for example, you see the brinjal, the calyx is persistent, right. Brinjal, how it will be children? Yes, brinjal, and up you can see the green color structures like this, no. This is a calyx. This is a calyx which is persistent. But in many flowers, this calyx withers and ovary develops into fruit. Ovary will develop into fruit and ovule will become a seed. Ovule will become seed and zygote. Zygote will get developed into embryo which develops into seed, right. Next, endosperm. Endosperm provides nutrition, right. Endosperm provides nutrition for the developing embryo. So, these are all the post fertilization structures. So, what happens children? Ovules, this ovule becomes a seed and this corolla, the attractive part of the flower, get withered, and what happens? The embryo, the zygote becomes a embryo and the endosperm provides nutrition for it. So let us recap what are all the things we studied, children. We studied, first we discussed about the hydrophily. We discussed about hydrophily and then we discussed about the types of zoophily. In types of zoophily, what are all the things we discussed? Ornithophily, that is pollination by birds, and malacophily, pollination by snails, pollination by bats, that is Chiropterophily. So these are all the things we discussed, and next we discussed about what is fertilization. What is fertilization, and then we studied about the structure of a pollen grain. Structure of pollen grain, and then we studied about the structure of the ovule, and later we discussed about the process of fertilization and the post fertilization changes. This is the assessment given related to this session, children. Just go through it. With this session comes to an end. In the description we have attached the study material, assessment and question bank for this lesson. Go through it. Have a nice day, children.